Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. This is week 3 of the Catacomb Cult Presents 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Javin Romero, and if you don't know what the challenge is, it's watching a horror movie every single day of October. And me personally, I'm trying to watch a horror movie that I haven't seen before every single day of October. And this is week 3. And before we get into it, please like and subscribe. Go watch my vlogs and podcasts. Follow me on Instagram at Javin Romero. And if you like fishing, I just posted a couple fishing videos that are kind of cool. So go watch that. And thank you. Peace and love. Smooches. All that. All right, let's get right into it. October 15th, movie number 15, Zombieland Double Tap.
We're gonna go get her. We ride it, dog.
Start talking.
You first. Oh, my name's Tallahassee. Die, zombie! Light 'em up!
It's directed by Ruben Fleischer, and it's about zombie slayers Tallahassee, Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock leave the confines of the White House to travel to Graceland and Memphis. Along the way, they encounter other post-apocalyptic warriors and a group of survivors who find refuge in a commune. Yeah, man, I needed like some comedy. You know, I've been watching a lot of serious ones. I needed a little comedy to break it up. I love Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg. I think he's awesome. And then Emma Stone, come on. She's like my love, man. Don't you ever front on Emma Stone. This was what you would expect. It's what I expected exactly. It was perfect. There were some cool sequences, some badass kills. I'm not gonna get too deep into this one, but yeah, I liked it. There was a funny line that like he's about to have sex with this girl and he's like, I'm feeling guilty, and she's like, because of Jesus, I know ways around that. You just threw out an anal sex pun right off the bat, but yeah, it was cool. And then Thomas Middleditch showed up. Thomas Middleditch, he's a fucking American treasure too, man. I love that dude. So I'm not gonna get too, it's what you would expect. It's what I expected. It's more of the same. And it was enjoyable, fucking fun. Loved it. It was a good palate cleanser kinda, you know what I mean? Go watch that one. I liked it. And once again, don't you ever front on Emma. Number 16 on the list is The Invitation.
Get up prepared.
Help me, please. Here, dear.
Hello, Mr. Harker here. There's a young lady who seems quite distressed.
Directed by Jessica M. Thompson, and it's about after the death of her mother and having no other known relatives, Evie takes a DNA test and discovers a long-lost cousin she never knew, invited by her newfound family to a lavish wedding in the English countryside. And yeah, man, I don't know why this one got so much hate, man. Me personally, fucking vampires are my shit, particularly Dracula. I loved Dracula since I was a kid. Bela Lugosi, that was one of my favorite movies. It's even as a kid, it's slow for a kid. The like 1932 Dracula or 1936, I don't know. You know what Dracula I'm talking about, the famous Bela Lugosi one. And then yeah, man, I've liked all iterations, not all, but I've liked a majority of the iterations of Dracula since then. And Van Helsing, I even like that Van Helsing movie, man. Yeah, so this is another iteration of Dracula and his wives, his 3 wives. And yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I don't know why it got so much hate. The lead actress, Nathalie Emmanuel, she's so pretty, man. I mean, that's besides the point. She's a really good actress too, but man, she was captivating, man. I could see some plot holes, some of it, there was definitely some cheese to it, but she has an apartment in New York. And they always show like a struggling person living in New York, but they always show them living like in this fucking industrial loft. When in reality, an industrial loft would probably be $4,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, like this is her struggling. And it's like, no, her struggling would be sitting in a room this size with a hot plate. You know what I mean? But it's always this big giant windows and like exposed heating ducts and plumbing pipes and stuff, and beautiful old brick. There was just some writing issues where they have to like shoe in like woke shit, you know what I mean? Like there's this attitude now that's like, I'm right, you're wrong, fuck you. I'm a broke bitch. You can't change my motherfucking attitude. I do whatever I want. I don't care if you are a billionaire royal. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of funny, man, the confidence this generation has. It's that bait and switch that Dracula's known for. I don't know why people were hating on it. That's what Dracula does, man. He lures you in with charm and shit and then fucking flips it. That is the Dracula story, you know what I'm saying? Son of the Dragon. They did a lot of dragon references, which are dope. Like a lot of vampire shit don't really do that. The dragon, Vlad the Impaler, like history behind it, you know what I mean? And I love Dracula. I'll just say one more thing. I love Dracula because he's classy and shit. He kind of like reminds, like one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think the biggest villain of all time, the most interesting and creative villain ever thought up is Hannibal Lecter, in my opinion. Hannibal, I could listen to him talk for fucking days. And Dracula reminds me of Hannibal because Hannibal's classy, you know what I mean? He's a brutal psychopath who eats people, but he's classy, man. He does it with class, you know? He'll eat your brain with a Chianti, or eat your sweetbreads with a Chianti, or whatever that line was. And I feel like that's how Dracula is. He's all class, baby. But then he gets base and fucking brutal. And I don't know, I like that kind of juxtaposition. Like, it was a dumb ending, but you know, what can you do? I thought it was cool. Maybe I was just enamored by Nathalie Emmanuel. She was gorgeous. Well, okay, moving on. Number 17, Hellbender.
You know why we're called Hellbenders? Because we're feared. Have you been in my dreams?
If you break my heart, I'll devour you. If they want to believe in hell so badly, I'll give them hell.
I just want us to be people. It's not a gift, Izzy.
Then why was it given?
I'm not afraid of you, Izzy.
You will be.
And this was directed by the Addams family, who I don't really know about, and I'm going to do more research into them, because I guess the daughter helped write the movie, and the dad directed it, and they did it on a shoestring budget. They raised themselves through like campaigns, I guess, or maybe Patreon. And man, that's a badass family. So I'm going to do some more research on them. And it's about a teen and her mother live in a simple house in the woods, spending their time making metal music. Oh yeah, they're in a band. A chance encounter with a fellow teen causes her to uncover a connection between her family and witchcraft, which causes a rift with the mother. Yeah, man, you know, like I said, it was made on a shoestring budget by this family, the Addams family, go figure. But, I mean, you could definitely see it. You could definitely see that. Just being real, the VFX weren't up to snuff, really, you know what I mean? It was like music video type, 90s music video type stuff. It wasn't really like that visually impressive. There was some cool cinematography in the movie, but yeah, the VFX were a little brutal, if I'm just being honest. Like there was super I mean, they might have been doing it on purpose, like super overexposed shots where the sky was just bright fucking asylum white, and it just makes me uneasy. Maybe that's what they were going for. And they did like a purple kind of color grade where everything was purple and overexposed white. And I was just like, ugh, dude, it was like gross. Like, I know purple and white doesn't sound gross, but it just was. It was like kind of grating on me. But you know, maybe that's what they were going for, to make you uncomfortable. You could tell somebody lent them let them use the music rights of their band or something, because it was all this like music, and you can tell they think it's cool music, but it wasn't. It was very cheesy in my opinion. Maybe it's just not up my alley, that kind of music. And like there's this scene like where they bust out a drum set, and one of the teenagers is like, "You play drums?" And she's like, "Yeah, I play drums." And it's like the the montage of that was just ridiculous. I can't even explain it. She's not playing drums at all. Like, she's just going like this. And she starts like closing her eyes and getting all into it. It's fucking crazy. But, you know, just little stuff like that. Oh, I thought the whole concept was dope. Like the actual concept where these witches, this coven, get their power from consuming blood. If fear is in the blood, they get more power. She asks, like, so what happens if we eat humans? And then the mom is like, then you'll know what real power is. Because, you know, they're just eating like worms and insects and shit. So that was a cool concept. Like, if to obtain more power, you have to frighten the person first, and, you know, which in reality, like hunting, they say don't do that. You want them to be less frightened, so all that adrenaline and whatever doesn't fly through their body. And the fiduciary characters, I think that's the right word, were pretty bad. The girl she befriends was not very good. It was just bad acting. I'm not going to call them bad actors, but it was just bad acting. It did kind of gross me out, some of the blood scenes. Not like gory, like people getting decapitated or anything. It was just like the way they would close up with like this thick blood in their teeth and stuff. And it was just kind of like, it did gross me out a few times. But it's pretty dope that the Addams family acted and directed and raised it, and it's all on their own shit. Distributed it, everything. That's pretty cool. So, all right, anyway, moving on. Number 18, Who Invited Them?
It's a game we play.
Whatever you do, don't hold back. Sasha is like a bear when she smells fear. You and your girl down for being tied up?
Oof, looks like it's time to hit the old hay.
Sasha might do a quick carving job.
I'm giving you guys to the count of 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
This was directed by Duncan Birmingham. And Adam and Margot start to suspect their new friends are actually duplicitous strangers with a dark secret. And man, I like this. This is kind of like just a ramp up. You know what I mean? Like you think these people are weird at first and they just start peeling the onion. You know what I mean? Getting weirder and weirder. It's about this wife and this husband who move into a new house, and the neighbors come over, and it's this other weird couple, and it grows from there. I'm not gonna tell the whole story. There's obviously like already problems in the marriage because the wife seems to hate the husband, first of all, like cuts off all his jokes and his nuts. But so like, I thought that was weird, but maybe that was the arc they wanted to. So at the end they'd come together. But, oh, and there was another scene just like Hellbender where the wife was like, they get all fucked up on Yayo. And the wife was like, yeah, I used to be in a band. And they show her playing the guitar, and she's playing like chords like, brum, brum. I'm not even exaggerating right now. Audience, I am not even exaggerating. Like, this isn't even to be funny. I'm doing exactly how she was. It was like, brum, 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 brum. And like, that was the song. It wasn't like, like, it was like, I could do that, and I don't know how to play the guitar. The other girl was like, damn, you're a badass. And she's like, that was 1,000,000 years ago, that kind of shit. And it was just like, damn. Well, I don't know why they force these people, like, I don't know, get like some stunt hands or something and just cut the camera off right here and just show the hands of another girl who can actually play the guitar. They try to fake it. It's cheesy, man. The husband's kind of like a cheeseball douche. He's kind of like a Hollywood dude. They're in Hollywood Hills. It's what you'd expect if you go to one of those parties. And yeah, there's some real awkward scenes for sure, like that make you uncomfortable, which you want a movie to do that to you. You want a movie to make you feel something, you know what I'm saying? And I really like the movie, but you know, the couple kind of sucks and you don't really root for them. I guess you kind of care about them towards the end. They rally together, but the whole half, maybe like 3/4, you're like, I don't really even care about this couple. Like, yeah, let them get hacked up. No, I'm joking. The ending was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? It was enjoyable, but it was pretty tame, to be honest. They could have went in a lot of different avenues. I don't know how much I really like this movie, but let's move on to number 19. And number 19 is Speak No Evil.
So many things have felt so wrong.
Because we do things differently.
No one's forcing you to stay, but I really hope you do, because today is gonna be a great day.
And this was directed by Christian Taftrup. This is in like Denmark, or I think they shot in Denmark and the Netherlands and shit. And that's where the movie takes place. The beginning's in Denmark and the Netherlands. And I think a little scene in Italy. It's crazy, like, because I was looking on the map, like, to see how close Denmark and the Netherlands were. And it's like, oh, you know, there's 2 countries between them, or there's 1 country between it, but it's still only 8-hour drive. You know what I mean? That's so weird. Like, there's so many countries in one small spot that are smaller than states here in US. On a vacation in Toscana, a Danish family instantly becomes friends with a Dutch family. Months later, the Danish couple receives an unexpected invitation. It doesn't take long before the joy of the reunion is placed with misunderstandings. The cinematography was okay. The beginning really kind of fucked with me. It was like really dizzying. It was like it was handheld, which I don't mind handheld, but it was too much, man. And that shit kind of made me a little dizzy. I was writing as I was watching it. I was like, did they cut the kid's tongue out? That kid's gonna be a problem. There's an actual Holland windmill. That's pretty cool. You know, like reminds you of Frankenstein at the end. That dude didn't look like a babysitter at all. He looked like a hungover plumber, which is true. That was the babysitter that came through. I hate when a man puts on the jukebox and starts dancing in front of everybody. Like, yuck. Like, he thought he was so cool with his cigarette. Like, I hate that shit, man. But this is no critique of the film. I did love the film. I didn't love it, but I thought it was good. I liked it a lot. There were scenes, though, that were just, holy shit. Like, I mean, this is another build-up. It's not like a gore fest or anything like that. And then once it, like, turns the switch and gets brutal, there's a lot of, like, maybe this is difference in cultures? I don't think so, though. I think this is human nature. These are all spoilers, but this is a heavy one. They cut out the daughter's tongue right in front of the mom and the dad. And then they like rip her away from the mom. They're in a car while they do this. And they rip her away from the mom and just shut the door. And the guy drives away. And the mom's not like strapped down or anything. And she's just freaking out in the back seat, trying to get out and stuff. But it's like, she's just also letting the guy drive. It's like, hop over that front seat and gouge that motherfucker's eyes out. Take a chunk out of his neck. I don't know, like, so like, I'd be incensed with pure fucking rage. You know what I'm saying? If that happened to me, and I think anybody would. So there's just like things like that. Like, this doesn't make sense. They get stoned to death at the end of the movie by walking down this little hill that's wide open, by the way. It's not like a hole. It's a wide open thing. They can run wherever. And the other husband and wife just start throwing boulders on them and they hit them, and that's how they die. They get stoned to death. And it's like, yo, run 20 feet out of range. Like, what the fuck? After you got hit with one, run. You know what I'm saying? The guy doesn't even have a gun or anything. So it was just stuff like that. I did enjoy the movie, though. I know it sounds like I didn't, but I did. It was really good. But I'd be on some Serengeti chimpanzee shit, man, ripping off faces, for real. But then again, I've never seen somebody, especially a kid of mine, get their tongue cut out in front of me. So who knows? Moving on. Number 20, The Dark and the Wicked.
There are things in this world, horrible things, wicked, and they come for whoever they want.
I saw something.
She wasn't crazy.
Do you smell him? He's close now.
He's not out there. He's already here.
And this was directed by Brian Bertino. Plagued by walking nightmares, two siblings. That's why I'm going to try and read these from now on. Plagued by walking nightmares, two siblings suspect that something evil is taking over their family at an isolated farmhouse. I just want to say off the bat, I think this might have been my favorite movie of the whole challenge so far. This is number 20. I've watched 20 movies. Can you believe that? 20 movies in the past 20 days. And this probably is my favorite movie so far. It got so much shit. I don't know why. I'll talk about that later though. But yeah, man, there was just so many unsettling scenes in this. And I thought the story was good. The father who's in a coma type thing, I guess. The spiders that run out of his mouth. Oh, fuck, man. That shit got me like, ooh, whoa. You know what I mean? And there was just other scenes where I literally was like, whoa, man. And I don't get scared from movies. You know, movies don't scare me. You know what I mean? I get jump scares, boom, but I'm not like holding covers like, what's gonna happen? You know, I'm not like that, but this movie was legit unsettling, I'll tell you that much. And you know, I was worried at first because the first 5 minutes was like kind of these slow artsy shots that were cool looking, but it was just like, oh boy, is this what this movie's gonna be? But it literally was only like 5, maybe 6, 7 minutes. And it was on from there because it was not slow at all. And you know how like a lot of movies, the buildup is like scary. Like what is this entity? What is this ghost? What is this demon? What is this monster? And that's like where it's kind of scary, where you're like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Once they reveal it, it's not really scary anymore. So you're just like, okay, now we're going to figure out how to kill it or whatever. You know what I mean? This movie wasn't like that. This movie was just like, creep factor the whole way, which I enjoyed, man. There was a little bit like, cause it's based on like Christianity, you know, like Christian devil. I think it is. The whole family's supposed to be atheists, and the message was kind of like, this is what happens if you're an atheist. What I thought, you know what I mean? If you're an atheist, you know, which I am an atheist, this is what happens to atheists. You know what I mean? But yo, I don't even care. I'm not like griping on that. It was brilliant, man. And then one of these notes I wrote like, this movie is so fucked up. I was like, and yeah, I don't get all the, like I watched a few YouTube reviews and people like didn't like this movie, I guess. Like people who like who shit on this movie were given like Saw 3 fucking 5 stars and shit. I don't get it. I don't get that shit. Saw 3, that's just like torture porn. Or I don't even know. I don't even know if I've seen Saw 3, but all the Saws aren't really my bag. But I think it's because it's like karma. There has to be an underlying theme. Like, I guess there wasn't really an underlying theme in this movie, except for maybe the one that I thought of, that this is what happens if you're an atheist. But there wasn't it was like, yo, this family, the dad's dying, the mom the mom kills herself in a brutal way, but it's the demons possessing. The demons got hold of this guy, and and this family's getting destroyed by them. In fucked up ways, man. And like, I'm not talking just like gory. I'm just saying like, oh my God, that's freaky, man. Saw is a karma, right? It's like, if you do this, karma will get you. So I think people grab that and hold on to that kind of shit, but I don't know why it was getting such bad reviews. I loved it. I thought this movie was great. But anyway, enough of that. Go watch that movie. It's dope. The final film we got is a long one. I wrote so many notes, man, but I don't think I have the energy to get into it all. But it's The Empty Man. Number 21, The Empty Man.
Like a disease. And his message is contagious. The empty man, 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 the empty man.
This was directed by David Pryor. On the trail of a missing girl, an ex-cop comes across a secretive group attempting to summon a terrifying supernatural entity. You know, this goes to show, man, like, I guess I'm just not part of other people's shit. Maybe I'm not smart enough. I don't know. You know, maybe I just missed things, which I don't think I missed anything. This movie's not super convoluted with hard to understand storylines and shit. But maybe I am. Maybe I'm just dumb. But I know for a lot of this movie, I didn't really like this movie. Let me just say that. I didn't like this movie. The prologue of the movie was like a half an hour, which was like the opening sequence was like a half an hour, which is crazy long. First of all, this movie's 2.5 hours. Too long for a horror movie, man. But yeah, the first half an hour was the best part of the fucking movie. I was like, all right, this is cool, man. These people are hiking in Nepal or Bhutan, wherever the hell it was. And one of them falls down a crevasse, like a hole. He falls through a hole in the rocks and he sees like this altar of this skeleton dragon fucking pterodactyl thing, and it's like an altar to it. He gets the entity in his body. There's a cult around this guy. They all worship him, and they're trying to get a new vessel for the entity. People are giving this one 5 stars, which God bless. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and, you know, this is all subjective. All this stuff is subjective. I'm not, you know, the gospel on this thing. But there was mad tropes in it where I was like, you know, the car doesn't start while you're running away. And it looks like a 2022 Jeep Cherokee, brand new, but it doesn't start all. You know, that just little stuff like that. There was mildly interesting scenes, like with the cult members doing their marches and dances and stuff, and then just stopping and staring at the guy. That was freaky and cool, but it's like few and far between for me, man. This guy's like a tortured soul, the main character. He's a good actor too. Great actor. His wife and son died, and you see little flashbacks and he's, you know, chugging whiskey, you know, but you actually see how they died, and it's fucking ridiculous. I wrote it down. It's ridiculous how they died. She turns around, her son's like making noise and shit, and she turns around while she's driving. This is how they die. She turns around to like tend to the son. Most people would like turn like this, put their arm like that, right? She turns her entire body, both hands off of the wheel. Both hands, I rewound this 3 times just to like, did she take both hands off of the fucking wheel? Both hands off the wheel. And like turns completely around to look at her son. And then when she and by the way, it's snowing fucking like a blizzard. It's coming down in snow. And she's about to go over a narrow bridge. She does all this knowing that, I'm assuming she knows the bridge is coming because it's not like a freeway or something. It's a road that goes to her house. And then she does all that, ridiculous, and then a deer comes out too at the last minute. It's like, yo, that is some heavy-handed shit. Like, Jesus, that was lazy as fuck. But so I didn't like that. But you know, these same YouTubers are giving, I'm not gonna talk shit or call names out, but are giving this one like 4.5, 5 stars. I just don't get it. And then like shitting on Dark and the Wicked. The most unnerving thing about this movie is I found out a brain can have an itch. Like, and I looked it up afterwards, and yes, your brain can itch. And it's usually because of nerve damage or something. But just that fact, the brain can itch, I feel like my brain is itching. Hopefully I don't go insane. It was an okay movie. Go watch it. It was not holding my attention at all, where I would be like watching it and be like, I gotta do my laundry tomorrow. If I wake up at 9, I could be done by 11:30. And then, you know, that's what I was doing during this movie. And that's not a good sign. So that could just be my ADD. You're right. But I don't think it was. It could have been cool. Like, I love cult shit. I love occult shit too. Like, if they delve more into the fucking like the lore and the mythology behind it, that'd have been cool. I like that kind of shit. I like ancient evils that get unearthed. You know what I mean? But anyway, thank you everybody for listening. This has been the Catacomb Cult Presents 31 Days of Horror. Yo, you're missing out now if you haven't started this challenge. You can still try. I'll commend you if you try, but you're missing out now. This is like so fun. It's like a routine. I didn't think I was gonna even come close to 20 movies. I thought I was gonna do like 15. But man, I'm gonna do 31, motherfuckers. You're not motherfuckers. I love you. Till the next one, smooches.